Little Miss Somersault is one of the Little Miss characters that I remember pretty prominently from my childhood. With regards to the book, she's actually quite near the end. We're up to number 30 already. And it's got quite an important message in this about not taking things to the extreme. But we learn that Little Miss Somersault does cartwheels everywhere. I do find it interesting that she's called Little Miss Somersault, but she does cartwheels. So she should either be Little Miss Somersault, who somersaults everywhere, or she should be called Little Miss Cartwheel, who cartwheels everywhere. I think mixing the terminology there could get quite confusing for a young child. And I think they should have stuck with one of the two words. But that aside, even though that is pretty much the message of the story, is that she cartwheels everywhere, she's actually a really nice character. I love the design of her house. She always helps people out. For example, Mr. Worry has a leaf on his house, and he's worried that the roof will cave in. So little Miss Somersault goes up and gets the leaf. When Mr. Bump causes all kinds of problems, she's there to leap into the air and capture Mr. Skinny before he comes to harm. But one day, she climbs onto Mr. Uppty's roof, Mr. Uppty being who he is. He has a very large house. His roof is very, very high up. And suddenly she realizes that she was very scared. And Mr. Tickle comes along and rescues her. And she learns that while it's great to be able to cartwheel everywhere and leap and bound and help people out, you have to know your limits. And maybe climbing that high wasn't a smart move. So it's fun for her to do cartwheels or somersaults everywhere, but you have to know your limits. And the ending with Mr. Small, I thought was an absolutely adorable way to end it. I really like it. I really like the design of the character. I think she's quite spindly. I can imagine her doing all these somersaults. As I said, the confusion between the use of Little Miss Somersault doing cartwheels, I just think wasn't very well thought out. And that just seems a bit peculiar to me. Nevertheless, I think it's a good book, one that I remember quite well, one that even now as an adult, I rather enjoyed it. I think I'll always have a soft spot for Little Miss Somersault.